Hey guys, Unigine RT here with a second benchmark for my $500 AMD gaming PC. Now, I left the RAM speed at the same, didn't overclock it anymore. I left the processor speed at 3.6 gigahertz. I can overclock it to 4, but I'm going to leave it there, and I can unlock it to 6 cores, but I'm going to leave it at 4. That is staying the same. I just did some BIOS tweaks with the hyper transport speeds and bus speeds, stuff like that. But I kept the processor speed the same as the last video, and the RAM speed, and the graphics card is the same clock settings as it was in the last video. So let's see how it compares to an i7 setup. So I'm going to show you the scores after this. I'm not going to run the whole benchmark this time just for time savings, but I will record at the end, the benchmark scores for my computer here. So hopefully you enjoy. Alright guys, there you go. A score of 1221. As you can see, just like my last video, I'm still running at 3612 megahertz. Only on 4 cores. You can unlock the 960T processor to 6 cores actually, because it is a Thuban core. Same graphics card overclock, same resolution settings, extreme HD preset, so basically the highest you can go with this benchmark. And just with a couple BIOS tweaks, I pulled another almost right around 300 more points on the benchmark, and that was without fraps running too. So a 1221 score benchmark, that's pretty goddamn good for about $500 in AMD parts. So minimum FPS was a little bit better. It was about, I think the other video was like 11 something, and versus this is 13.6, and max FPS is right around the same point, just a little bit higher, maybe 4 or 5 points higher. So yeah, there you have it. So if you want a gaming PC that can pretty much play anything, like I can play Rift full max settings, full ultra, and pull an average of 30 frames a second in Tempest Bay. So for those of you that play Rift know that most of you probably get 4 to 5 frames per second in Tempest Bay in the main city for Storm Legion. So but I get about 25-30. So if you have any questions on this build or just for the AMD stuff I use in general, put it in the comment section below and I will answer as many of them as possible. Alright, thanks for watching. And that is it. Now, I did find a couple benchmarks. I looked at a lot of Unigine Valley benchmarks for similar Intel setups, and there was a couple I came across. In general, what was it? What was that one picture I seen, or the one screenshot of the benchmark? It was an i7 3770K. And it was running dual GTX 660s for graphics cards. So you're talking about a $200 more expensive processor, and the graphics card is about $100 more expensive than the one I'm using right now. And he was running 2 of them. So if you add that up, it's $200, $300, $400 more, plus it's more expensive for an Intel motherboard for a decent one. RAM is going to be pretty much the same, but overall you're talking about $500-$600 more. The Intel i7 with dual 660 graphics cards. What he spent extra on his Intel and Nvidia stuff, you could buy an entire, you could build an entire another system like mine and pull pretty much the same score now. I read up on that guy's screenshot that he took. He ran like a score of 1557, I believe it was, and I mean it's a good score, but I mean he spent as much extra on his system as what I paid for all the parts of my system in general, and he barely pulled a better score, and that's only because he was running 2 graphics cards. So in my opinion, I think he wasted his money. And from what I was reading on his post or whatever for his system specs, he had his memory and he had everything overclocked a lot running his stuff in SLI. And my card's running pretty much at stock speeds right now, 945 megahertz, 1445 megahertz on memory. It's a little bit overclocked, but not much from out of the box. But regardless, I pulled nearly the same scores he did with $500 less in parts. and that's pretty much that's what AMD's good for, really. You can build an equivalent system as an Intel or NVIDIA, and pay a hell of a lot less. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions about my system, specs, anything, put it in the comment section below. I'll answer every single one of them, as long as they're not too ridiculous, I guess. As long as they're intelligent questions, I'll answer them. So alright, so that is it. That was part 2 on the $500 AMD gaming PC. Still working on getting my upgrades for this, even though I don't need an upgrade for this computer, but having new stuff is always, it's one of those things. It's always kind of nice. So alrighty, that is it, and I'll see you later.